Momo. In 2018, Momo was tied to an internet challenge where it was claimed that the creature would appear in children's YouTube videos or through messaging apps, encouraging kids to harm themselves or others. People genuinely believed that Momo was infiltrating devices and brainwashing children. But here's the truth. There was no verified case of any Momo challenge causing real harm. The panic was driven by rumors, viral posts, and media exaggeration. Additionally, Momo wasn't from some ancient cursed scroll or hidden part of the dark web. It came from a sculpture. The original image was actually a piece of art called Mother Bird, created by Japanese artist Keisuke Aisawa for a horror exhibition. It was never meant to be part of an internet panic. The artist ended up destroying the sculpture as a symbol. Slenderman. Slenderman might be the most famous internet monster of all time. He's tall, faceless, wears a suit, and has tentacle-like arms that stretch into the shadows. According to the legend, he stalks children, hides in forests, and causes memory loss or madness in anyone who sees him. But here's the important part. Slenderman was created entirely as a fictional character. He first appeared in 2009 on a forum called Something Awful, during a contest where users were asked to edit ordinary photos to make them look paranormal. One user submitted images of kids playing with a tall, thin figure lurking in the background and added a creepy backstory. That's it. But the internet took Slenderman and ran with it. Blogs, fanfiction, YouTube series, and even video games expanded the myth. Some users even tried to link Slenderman to medieval German folklore. People started reporting sightings, adding new details to the lore, and treating him like a real entity. Then in 2014, something deeply tragic happened. Two 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin lured a classmate into the woods and stabbed her, claiming they did it to impress Slenderman. The incident shocked the world and turned what had been an internet ghost story into something with real-world consequences. Psychologists later explained that the girls were suffering from mental illness and had lost the ability to separate fantasy from reality. The Russian sleep experiment. The story goes like this. In the late 1940s, Russian researchers decided to test a new gas that could keep people awake for extended periods. They sealed 5 prisoners in a chamber and pumped in the stimulant gas. At first, everything was fine. The subjects talked to each other, told secrets, whispered into the microphones. But as the days dragged on, things took a dark turn. The test subjects tore apart the books they'd been given, smeared the pages on the walls using bodily fluids, and eventually, according to the story, mutilated themselves and each other in horrifying ways. By the time the researchers entered the room, the survivors had reportedly ripped out organs, refused anesthesia, and begged to be put back on the gas. Sounds terrifying and completely fake. This story first appeared on a website dedicated to creepypastas. There are no official records, no documents, and definitely no scientific reason to believe any of it happened. What made the myth stick was a creepy black and white image often shared with it, a pale, eyeless humanoid figure with a twisted grin. That photo wasn't from any real experiment either. It's a prop from a Halloween attraction. Ben drowned. It started in 2010 when a user named Jaducible posted a story claiming he bought a used Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask cartridge from a yard sale. The game was supposedly haunted. According to the story, the cartridge acted strangely. NPCs behaved erratically, save files were corrupted, and strange messages appeared on screen. One save file was titled Ben. The legend claimed that Ben was the spirit of a boy who had drowned and was now trapped inside the game. For many, it felt real, because the footage looked real. It also used YouTube, message boards, and even fake websites to make the experience feel immersive. Cicada 3301. In 2012, internet users around the world noticed a strange image posted on 4chan. The image contained hidden codes. Solving the first one led to a series of cryptographic puzzles involving ancient literature, digital steganography, obscure websites, and even real-life GPS coordinates that pointed to posters physically placed in cities across multiple continents. The people who followed the trail needed advanced knowledge of programming, philosophy, history, and mathematics. Then in 2013, it happened again. A second puzzle appeared, same with 2014. But after that, Cicada went silent. To this day, no one knows for sure who was behind it. Theories range from an elite hacker collective to a recruitment campaign by the NSA to a digital art project. The messages sent by the creator at least hinted towards a group caring about privacy and online security. Some successful people said they solved the puzzle and were contacted privately, but officially it didn't lead to much else. Either they were told to keep quiet, or the whole thing fizzled out. Unlike most internet myths, Cicada is real. The mystery isn't whether it happened, but why it happened, and who was behind it. Jeff the Killer. The photo alone became an icon, a blurry, pale face with an unnatural grin and deep, black eyes, and it's honestly more disturbing than the story itself. The story tells of a teenage boy named Jeff who, after a violent confrontation with bullies and a disastrous chemical burn, slowly loses his sanity. He carves a permanent smile into his face, burns off his eyelids so he can never stop staring, and becomes a deranged murderer who appears in bedrooms at night. The origin of the image is a mess of rumors and accusations. Some say it was just a heavily edited photo of a real person. There are even people who say the original image was just a badly lit photo from a makeup test gone wrong. As for the story, it's pure fiction. Jeff the Killer started on creepypasta forums and spread thanks to fan-made videos, dramatic readings, and cheap horror games. Smile Dog. The story goes like this. There's a cursed image floating around the internet called smile.jpg. It shows a dog kind of like a husky, with human teeth and an unsettling grin. Behind it is a dark room, and sometimes you can make out a bloody hand or a demonic shadow in the background. The myth says that if you see this image, especially at night, it'll haunt you. Victims reportedly experience vivid nightmares, hallucinations, and eventually go insane or die by quitting in real life. The only way to escape the curse? Share the image with someone else. Basically, it was the first digital chain letter with a horrifying JPEG instead of bad luck. The Backrooms. The Backrooms myth began with a single image posted on an internet forum. A photo of a bland yellow office space, lit with buzzing fluorescent lights, lined with stained carpet and endless walls. No windows, no doors. The story that followed was simple. If you no-clip out of reality in just the right way, you'll fall into the backrooms. It smells of mold and sadness, and the lights hum just loud enough to drive you slowly insane. Depending on the version, there might also be creatures watching and/or hunting you, but what makes the backrooms different from traditional horror is how ordinary it looks. It's not a haunted castle or a blood-soaked crime scene. It's an old office building, boring, familiar, oftentimes even nostalgic. And that's what makes it feel wrong. Over time, internet users built a massive mythos around it, adding more levels, new rules, and bizarre entities. What started as a joke turned into a full-blown universe. Lavender Town Syndrome. In the late 1990s, shortly after the release of Pokémon Red and Green in Japan, a disturbing rumor started spreading online. It claimed that a certain area in the game, Lavender Town, had caused dozens, even hundreds of children to fall ill or die by quitting real life. According to the legend, the original version of Lavender Town's music contained high-pitched tones that only children could hear. Some versions of the story went even further, claiming that hidden images or messages were embedded in the music, triggering self-quitting behavior when viewed for too long. It even went so far as to connect it to the infamous Unit 731, which was responsible for human experiments during the Second World War. The idea stuck thanks to the fact that Lavender Town is a pretty creepy place for Pokémon. It's the place in the game where players encounter a literal Pokémon graveyard and other weird shit. But the truth? There's no record, police report, news article, or verifiable case linking any deaths to the game's music. Not in Japan, not anywhere. The entire story was, as always, a creepypasta. Candle Cove. This may have been a TV show that supposedly aired in the early 1970s. The story began on an internet forum where users claimed to remember a creepy, low-budget puppet show with unsettling characters and a pirate theme. Eventually, the twist came. One user said they asked their mother about the show, and she told them, "You just stared at static for 30 minutes. That's when everyone realizes, maybe the show never existed. Maybe they were just staring at a dead channel, imagining it together. Or maybe something else was using the static to reach them." Candle Cove became one of the most famous internet horror stories ever. It was so influential, it was later adapted into an actual TV show. But the original version was just people pretending to remember something that never existed. I feel fantastic. This one first showed up on YouTube in the early 2000s. The video features an android-like mannequin named Tara singing the phrase I feel fantastic in a robotic voice while standing in various positions around a house. Then, halfway through the video, there's a quick outdoor shot, just a patch of dirt and trees, with no explanation. That's when the internet did what it does best: speculate wildly. One popular theory suggested that the creator of the video was actually a serial killer, and Tara's song was modeled after one of his victims. According to this version, the forest clip was supposedly the burial site, shown off like a twisted trophy. But again, reality is more mundane. The creator, John Bergeron, was just an early robotics enthusiast and performance artist. He created Tara as part of a project exploring artificial intelligence and human interaction. The video wasn't meant to be horrifying. It was experimental. The forest clip, just an attempt at visual variety. The serial killer angle was entirely made up, but it stuck because the video had the perfect ingredients: eerie visuals, cryptic content, and no clear explanation. Combine that with low video quality and early internet anonymity, and you get a recipe for viral horror. SCP-173. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, a fictional organization tasked with locking away paranormal and dangerous anomalies. And SCP-173 is the one that started it all. It's a statue-like creature made of concrete and rebar. It doesn't move when you're looking at it, but the second you blink, it's coming to kill you. So in the story, personnel assigned to it have to keep constant visual contact and leave the room only in groups or taking turns blinking. The original SCP was first posted anonymously on a forum in 2007. It came with the creepy photo of a sculpture that actually exists in real life, made by artist Izumi Kato in Japan, completely unrelated to the story. The SCP Foundation quickly became one of the biggest collaborative fiction projects online. Thousands of entries, each describing a new creature, object, or phenomenon. And no, SCPs aren't real, but the way the stories are written makes it easy to forget that. Some entries are written like medical reports, others like redacted government documents. Thanks for watching. See the video on your screen? Well, YouTube thinks this one might interest you as well, so go ahead and check it out if you like.